Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me in another cooking class sponsored by Healthy Mothers, Healthy Babies, and the Department of Health in Florida. Today, we're going to have a mixture of class and cooking demo, and we're going to talk about herbs and spices, how to spice up your kitchen with them. And my name is Chef Dulce Jimenez. I am a wellness chef and a certified health coach focusing on moms to be so they can have a healthy pregnancy. In this program, we support you in cooking better at home and eating a little bit better so you avoid prenatal and pregnancy illnesses such as diabetes and hypertension and all those ailments that are common, but they don't have to be normal. Headaches and backaches and things like that, with a little bit of, attention to your self-care, to your nutrition, to your lifestyle, the way you move, and you will be able to prevent those illnesses and discomfort. So let's start with our class today. Spice up your kitchen with herbs and spices. I love to cook with herbs and spices. I always utilize fresh herbs and also spices. For some reason, my screen wasn't showing. But herbs, as you see in your screen, are lovely plants. They come in regular size and they also come in micro plants. Spices as well. They are your best allies in the kitchen, as they will turn any dish from ordinary to extraordinary. And let me tell you, spices are underutilized in the kitchen. They should be in every single dish. And spices are full of nutrients, and we don't realize that they can have a big impact in our overall health. Spices and herbs are a key contributors of plant components for a healthy diet. Only cumin, which is one of my preferred spices, contain actually some enzymes that will help you with digestion. So if you feel bloated and discomfort, you can make a tea with whole cumin and some ginger, and that will alleviate your indigestion. So yes, I am telling you, they are underutilized. Spices are the flame of life. They will make your meals come alive. Knowing how to use spices will help you create dishes from different cuisines from around the world, and will definitely set you apart from other cooks in your family. You will find that once you start using spices, and often, appropriately, you will not need to use as much salt or oils or even other condiments to enhance your dishes. When spices are combined with herbs and other aromatics, any dish becomes flavorful and delicious and exciting, because you can change a traditional dish from your culture, from your cuisine, and give them a different flavor or excitement. And your family is going to ask, what is this that you're putting in here? This is not the same. But yes, one spice or a combination of spices and herbs can do that. You can make the most out of your spices and herbs by using them in unexpected preparations. could be sweet and sour, or in cocktails and mocktails, right? Because at this moment, you should not be drinking alcohol, but you can enjoy amazing mocktails with herbs and spices, ladies. So let's go and see what are herbs. So the herbs are the fragrant leaves of plants. They can be procured fresh or dried. So most fresh herbs should be stored under refrigeration, the normal temperature of your refrigeration, which should be about 34 to 40 degrees, and they should be in a humid environment. So usually what I do with my fresh herbs, I can, put them in a jar with water in the refrigerator and place like a plastic bag on top, and you create this mini greenhouse effect. So they have that humidity. However, some herbs are very fragile for this method. So like basil and mint, if you do that method of storaging, they will become black. It is better if you grow your own or buy them in pots, and they will last you a little bit longer because they will be, in growing and in their environment until you use them. Dry herbs should be stored in closed containers at room temperature between 50 and 70 degrees with also a low humidity. So dry herbs should never be close to your stove. And here in Florida, our temperature is so high. So you should have your dry herbs stored away from any heat source, away from a window, away from your stove, and not too high up and not too low in your cabinets, because they will get the heat from the walls, from the outside. Okay. So what are spices? Spices are the fruits, the flowers, the bark, seeds, and roots of plants and trees. Spices are best when you use them whole. You toast them and ground them at home. If you do that, you should use them sparingly because they intensify with the addition of heat and moisture. Spices should be stored at room temperature, and they should be kept away from heat and sunlight, like the dry herbs. So spices are best and they will last longer when you buy them whole and you ground them yourself. And I'm going to show you how I ground mine today in the cooking demo. So when to use them? So fresh herbs are added at the end of cooking because they will keep their texture and aromas. If you add them at the end, if you add them at the beginning of cooking, you will not see your herbs. They will not give you any color or freshness to your dish as if you add them at the end, and their flavors will dissipate. So when you are finishing your dish, you can add and then mix your dish and then add also on top. So not only on top, I will recommend you to add it twice, in the middle of your dish, or when you're serving it, you serve a little bit in the bowl or whatever you're serving, and then you add the herbs and then you add more on top. And they also should be cut at the moment you're going to use them. So do not pre-cut or pre-wash your herbs too early in the cooking process. So on the contrary, dry herbs and dry spices are added at the beginning of cooking because the hot surface will activate their oils and intensify their flavor. You should always crush your dry herbs with hands and your spices in a mortar. When you crush them, you're activating the oils as well. Not all of them should be cooked. So when you're using them without cooking them, you must crush them in your hand. I love putting oregano in my avocado or in my salad dressing. So you always crush oregano or dry basil, dry thyme. You always crush it in your hands before using them. And if it's spices, you should, they're whole or even, dry spices, you should crush them in a mortar. So let me mention you some of the spices and herbs. There's so many spices and herbs that you can use. Here you have a list, but they're not all of them. So there's some of them that are, their name are the same in spices and herbs. For example, let me tell you these, or actually they're different. For example, cilantro, the leaves of cilantro is an herb, but coriander, the seeds of the cilantro plant, is a spice, right? So some of these spices, and when you buy them whole, you can do other preparations. For example, the chipotle, which is a ground and dried and smoked jalapeno pepper. When you ground it and when you do that process to the jalapeno, it becomes a spice, which is called chipotle. And yeah, other spices and herbs, you can use them for tea, for sweet, for salty preparations, or you name it. They can be incorporating so many dishes, even though we don't get accustomed of some of them. For example, in my cuisine, Dominican cuisine, we don't use maize or juniper berries, or we don't use a lot of saffron or turmeric. But when you add those things to dishes that you traditionally use with other herbs and spices, they take a turn and you enhance them. Some of this can enhance dishes that you already know, or you can create new dishes with them as well. Okay, so let's go. Don't know why this is happening, but so to discuss some of the popular blends that you can find in the store. For example, chili powder, 5-spice powder, satar, pumpkin pie spice, herbs de Provence, Old Bay seasoning. These things you can buy them in the store, but you can also make them. There are plenty of spices blend in the market to choose from. And these are just one of the common ones. When you're purchasing these spices, ensure that you're reading the label and you are avoiding additives and artificial colors, as well as MSG. MSG is monosodium glutamate, which is an enzyme that they put in the spices blends to enhance the flavor. However, that can cause headaches and allergies and other ailments that you don't want to have while you are pregnant. So, okay, so I was sharing some of the popular spice blends, and one of them that I love is the Old Bay seasoning. I usually make all my spices at home, but this is a proprietary blend of 18 spices, including celery salt as the main flavor profile. It has mustard, ginger, black pepper, cayenne pepper, nutmeg, cinnamon, cardamom, allspice, cloves, all these things. And honestly, you can make it at home, but there's some Old Bay seasoning that you can't replicate. This is one of those seasonings that it is better when you purchase them. They have this proprietary blend that I don't know what else I think, and I hope they don't add MSG, but if you don't use it too much, it's okay once in a while. Otherwise, make your spices at home. Okay, and next slide. Yeah, the other one I was going to show you is chili powder. Chili powder is very used and most commonly used in Mexican, Latin, and Asian cuisine. Is a combination of chilies that are being dried and ground. And there's a lot of type of chili powder there. So if you make your own blend, you will know what you can find and you can have in it. But when you buy them in the store, I have bought different brands and they taste very differently from one another. So 5-spice powder. I love this spice blend. It has Sichuan peppercorns, star anise, fennel, Chinese cinnamon or regular cinnamon, and cloves. And this is the one we're going to make today in the cooking demo. I actually love this spice, although it's very common in Chinese cooking. It is such an amazing spice because it combines all the 5 different flavor profile, sweet and spicy and umami and pungent. And so it gives such a great balance and flavor to any dish and even a dessert. Today we're going to use the 5-spice powder for a fruit salad, which is amazing. I hope you try them. And another one is satar. Satar is a combination of dry oregano, thyme, or marjoram, and toasted sesame seed and sumac, which is another blend. This is traditionally used in Arab cooking or Mediterranean, and is also an exciting combination of flavors because the oregano with the marjoram and the thyme is kind of Mediterranean, but when you add the sumac, it has notes of like citrus, and the white sesame is a totally different combination of flavors, very unexpected. So I hope you try it sometime. Okay, so another popular blends is the pumpkin pie spice, which is very commonly used in the United States, usually mostly for dessert and for Thanksgiving. But pumpkin pie spice, I use it for my apple shake. I make apple shake almost every day, and I love using the pumpkin pie spice, which I make it at home. And the herbs de Provence are dry herbs, combination of herbs. Also, they're popular dried and ground spices and aromatics that you can make at home, but also that you can buy them. For example, garlic, when you dry the garlic and you ground it, or onions, those are things that will enhance your cooking and your dishes. And it's something that sometimes when you don't have fresh garlic, you can substitute with garlic granules or garlic powder or onion powder, and it will give you that garlic and onion taste to your dishes. And the last one I want to talk is curries. Usually people think that curry is a spice, but curry is actually a spice blend. And there are many curries. Is a very traditional blend of spices in an Indian cuisine. And every home, every household has a blend of that spice or the curry. And curry is also a leaf, but it has nothing to do with the curry spices. There's some spices or curry that are very famous, like garam masala, which is a very famous curry that you can find in the store. Red or green curry as well, but you can make your own blends as well at home. Okay, and the last slide. These are flavor enhancers. Besides herbs and spices, you can use a combination of enhancers for your dishes, such as tamarind and tomato puree, coconut, cocoa, and concentrated flavors of fruits and seeds and flowers. These things are called aromatics, and including garlic, onion, peppers, ginger, turmeric, celery. When you hear me saying aromatics, or when you read it in a recipe or you hear another person cooking with aromatics, this is how they're referring to flavorings and products and ingredients that will enhance the taste of your dishes. So this is all for the theory part of the class, and we're going to get ready to make the recipe. So today's recipe is a fruit salad with a 5-spice dressing. I hope you love it. So tonight I'm going to demonstrate how to use the 5-star powder and how to make it at home. So the first thing you need is your spice grinder. This is like a coffee grinder, but I only use for spices because once you start using it for coffee, the smells and the aromas stick into your grinder, and it might affect your spices. So I have one for coffee and one for spices, and whoa, oh, the aromas are amazing. So this one is a very inexpensive tool, but it's very useful when you start using and grounding your own spices at home. You don't have to buy one. It's about $12, $14, but if you don't want to spend that because you may not be using it too much, you can also grind your spices in a high-speed blender. Okay, so you can also get the 5-spice powder in any supermarket, but again, I like to make it at home. Why? Because I don't use it too much. I have so many spices, but this is a combination that I use sporadically. So when you buy them commercially, they will not last longer. When you make it at home, you only make what you need, and you make it from fresh spices that we're going to do now. And you can use it and reuse it, and you will have that amazing aroma and flavor. So this is a very good brand. They usually don't add anything else, but I have this for a few years already, and I haven't used it that much. And even though I have used it, so much, and a little bit goes a long way with this. This is a very potent blend of spices. So what do you need? You will need whole cloves. Cloves are extremely potent. I love cloves. Usually I put them in my ham When I make ham for my family, I put it in my tea. I put it in bread pudding, in desserts. Cloves are amazing. They're wow. They have this warm, sweet, and a little bit pungent flavor and aroma. You will need fennel seeds, whole fennel seeds. Fennel seeds are like licorice, like celery a little bit, and they are amazing to be used in savory or in sweet preparations. Star anise. I love this for my tea as well. The smells are amazing. I use star anise for rubs, for my tea, also for baking. And you can use this for dressings. I love star anise. I make a whole chicken. I cook it in my slow cooker with star anise and ginger and turmeric. It's amazing. And I have ground cinnamon. You can also grind your own cinnamon, but I find this is a great brand that is very, very good. Doesn't have any additives or anything else. And Szechuan chili flakes. You can also use black pepper or red pepper flakes, but I do have Szechuan and I'm going to use that. So if you're using whole peppercorns, you can toast them first to activate and enhance the flavor and the potency. And you can also toast your spices, but I am not toasting mine for this dish. I'm going to grind first the cloves and the star anise and the fennel. I'm going to grind those first in my grinder because obviously this is ground and this is just flakes. So, and the amount of pepper flakes or peppercorns that you put is based on how spicy you want. It's usually kind of the same amount. I will put the recipe in the recording of this class in my YouTube channel. So let's blend this until it's grounded. That's it. Doesn't take too much. Wow. The aromas are incredible. Wow. Wow. This, you will not, the comparison with the one that you buy in the store, I do this in live classes. When you smell this ground fresh and when you smell this, wow, not at all. Not at all. This is a big difference. Big gap. And I would love for you to do that test at home. Now I'm going to add the chili spices. I'm going to add about 1 teaspoon and I'm going to add the cinnamon and I'm going to grind it super well so is a powder onto a powdered texture. And what I do is once in a while I'm going to scrape the bottom of the grinder so you can blend it super well. Okay, we'll come back in a minute. Okay, so I have grind all my whole spices for about a minute or two until they're a powder. And guys, I would love for you to smell this. This is amazing, amazing. You can even put this salad with yogurt or with oats for breakfast. Look at this. So this is perfectly grounded. As you can see the texture. Wow, the aromas are incredible. And here I have about 2 tablespoons, like 1.5 tablespoons. But I'm just going to use a little bit of this because this is very potent. Okay, so now that you grind your spices, you can put it in a small container, glass container, and put a label. Make sure you know what it is, and you also put the date that you did it so you know. And for the dressing, of course, we're not going to use all of this. This is going to be for a few, few times, maybe 5 times. So I have the juice of 2 lemons and about 1 tablespoon of honey. And I'm going to put some lemon zest that I have in here. And I'm going to show you what I use to zest my lemon. This is what is called a microplane. I love this. This is tiny. It's an amazing tool that you can take the zest of any citrus very easily. I don't know if you can see it well in the camera, but look, yep, you can see how the skin comes out. You see? So easy to have on hand. Make sure you don't the white part of the lemon, just the yellow part, because the white part is bitter. So I'm going to add the zest of 1 lemon. That's going to brighten this dressing. And I'm going to add 1/2 of a teaspoon of the blend. And I'm going to blend it well with the honey and the lemon. You can put a little bit of coconut water if you want. If you want to make a little bit more, and you just blend it well. I love this little bottles, and you can give it a try. Oh, wow. Incredible. I love this because you can shake and then you can pour it right here. See these bottles? Now I have here a few fruits. I don't like to put bananas in my fruit salad because bananas get brown and mushy. So I pick fruits that are tropical but are also a little bit harder, like the pineapple. You can add mango in mango season. I have papaya and kiwi and blueberries. You can add also Asian pear or regular apples or Honeycrisp apple, but not any fruit that is mushy and it's going to make the salad mushy. And when you make this salad, you should eat it in a few hours on the same day. Don't let it for a few days because it gets mushy, and you should eat fresh salad. I'm gonna have a little bit more, tiny bit more. I like it a little bit strong. I'm gonna add another inch of the spice. Wow, this is incredible. So delicious. Very simple and very different. Now I'm going to put all this. This is about, I will say, 2 to 3 tablespoons. Wow. I would love to drink this in a tea as well. You can do this dressing because it doesn't have oil. It doesn't have anything else. You can make the dressing, which is like a sauce, and put it in your tea in hot water to make it a tea. And this is our salad, and I'm gonna give it a try. I'm gonna taste it. Let's see. Okay, guys, so here you have the salad with the amazing juice or dressing. And I'm going to mix it in. You could, let it rest for maybe half an hour, 20 minutes. So it gets the juices and the flavor of the blend and the dressing, but I'm gonna try it right away. So I want to have a little piece of each. I have papaya, blueberry, kiwi, and pineapple. With a little bit of the juice. Okay, let me see. Mmm. Mmm. Amazing. Mmm. This is for me. All this is for me. Wow. Mmm. Wow, it has a little bit spicy. I can taste the cloves. I can take the star anise. Mmm. Oh my God, it's so delicious. Wow. And it's a little bit tangy and spicy. You can adjust the amount of honey to your likings, but I don't like too sweet. I like more spicy than sweet, and I prefer the fruits to impart their own sweetness. So, guys, you have to try this. Amazing. So I hope you like this class, and come back, look at other videos here in the YouTube channel, and meet me again, join me again in next week class with another different topic. And oh my God, my internet is failing me, but at least we were able to do the class today in the middle of a storm. Have a wonderful evening. Thanks for watching, and thanks for joining me tonight. Good night.